All right, so I want to talk right now about ad copy. I think that this is one of the most important parts of the ad, and also pretty consistently the part that most people get wrong. It's hard, it's what most people struggle with, but again, it has huge impact not only on just will leads come in, but the quality of them too. Your words that you pick can impact the quality. So we're going to go through a lot of different things there, and then we'll actually, again, share your screen. I'll actually write out an ad for you guys as we're there, and you kind of see thought process as we go through it. But the first thing I want to kind of let you know is when you're looking at the ad, we have the image now. So people are going to stop to look at the image, then they read your headline, then they come back and read the rest of the text. So what we look for in the headline is just to tell them exactly what they're getting. We keep it pretty straightforward. I'll show you some of the variations we go about that. Then we come up to the primary text and really show them what they're going to get out of that. But when you're looking at your ad, the first thing you should be able to look at is who's your ideal client for this ad. If it's a home seller looking to sell their home and move up to their next one, great, we know. Now, for that person, if they had to ask you the question, what's in it for me for this to take up you on your offer? What's in it for me? If you can't answer that, you have to go back to the drawing board. You should always be able to answer that question from the perspective of your ideal person to look at that ad. What's in it for me? If your ad is just like, reach out to me if you're thinking of buying or selling or investing or renting, which you see that type of ad all the time in real estate, that's not a good ad. It doesn't really answer the question, what's in it for me? That's what's in it for you. If you're thinking of buying, I would like to help you. That's in it for you. Whereas if you're like, find out how to get more for your home when you go to sell, click here. That's what's in it for them. They're going to find out how to get more money for their home. The next piece I see people screw up on, and even just back to that example I just gave of buy, sell, invest, or lease with me, that's a bunch of different offers. One ad, one offer. Don't put multiple offers in the same ad, you confuse people. So whatever it is, one offer per ad, one way to reach out, just keep it really simple. If you want to do another offer, do another ad. It could be in the same campaign, but do at least one ad, one offer. And then if you want to have another offer, you create another ad. You keep it very tight that way. The second you start adding in different options is when you start losing. This is one of the big reasons we don't like carousel ads that often, is because it gives people too much choice. The more choice you give them, the less likely they are to take anything. As much as people say they like choice, all the stats generally prove otherwise, that most to have one thing that they could go to and take advantage of. So that's what we keep looking at doing here. And I think that you should really take that into account when you're building your ad. Now, once you do that, let's start building it. What I personally do when I write is, before I worry about how it's going to look in the ad, I'm like, what points do I want to get across? And I'll sit here with my keyboard and I'll just start basically like writing out a rough draft of my ad. Sometimes I do it right in Ads Manager. Sometimes I might use Evernote or Google Docs, but I will write out kind of in my head a really rough point I want to get across. And if you see my first draft, you will often think like, okay, Andrew's a terrible writer. But then what I do is I come back and start polishing. I look for extra words that aren't needed. And the first thing I do there is I'll look at a sentence and say, okay, if there's any words here that I could take out that don't change the meaning of the sentence, I'll usually take that out. Once in a while, sometimes it makes sense to keep one of those in. But for the most part, the idea being, if I can take out a word without impacting the point I'm getting across, I'm taking the word out. You want to be concise. Now, that doesn't mean your ads have to be short. They just have to not have any fluff in them. People can spot it, they hate it. Because what happens a lot in online marketing is people are like, oh, I heard the ideal length is 600 words, so I'm going to add 200 words of filler to hit that. Well, you know what? 100 really well-written words will outperform 500 okay words every time. But if you can write really well 1,000 words, you can even put that in an ad. Like, long form ads work. I have some of our best performing ads take time to read, but the people who get through them are really high quality. So look at your ad and be like, okay, what can I take out? But first, that first piece is writing every point you want to get across, then come in, remove anything extra, then start looking, okay, is this the right order? And you can start playing around with it like that. So when I actually go to the next section of this video process, where I, going into it, will not have picked what I want to say in the ad, you can actually basically watch me live kind of adjust as I go through it. And one important thing about copy is when we talked before about quality of your ads, in terms of like targeting, different things like that, your copy impacts your targeting just as much. So especially when we look at like a special category ad, for example, it limits you to 15 miles, but say you just wanted to run an ad to that neighborhood. Well, then instead of saying, let's say the neighborhood was called like Ridge Valley or something like that, but you had to run for 15 miles, which encompasses like 5 different neighborhoods. Well, instead, first line of your copy can be like, hi Ridge Valley homeowners. By putting that right there into the ad, as people are scrolling, if they live in Ridge Valley or want to move there, now they're likely to stop and look at it. If they're not, they'll just keep scrolling, and that's okay. Your copy now has done that job of bringing in the right people. And that's where we look at it. So even we'll do things like this with like a home value ad, and this is probably what I'll show you guys after, is with a home value ad, you don't want anyone who just thinks that they want to find out what their home is worth. You want people thinking of selling. So instead of saying like, do you want to find out what your home is worth, be like, thinking of selling your home, the first step is finding out what it's worth. Because when you do it that way, you're going to attract those people who say, yes, I am thinking of selling my home. Now you got the right person saying yes. The next piece that we do is we think of, okay, what objections in the ad's current form might we get if people were to read this? And if we think it's an objection that might stop someone from opting in, we'll answer the objection right there in the ad. So like one objection with a home value is like, oh, I only wanted an automated report. Well, then just write into the ad, this is not an automated report. Think of the objections they're gonna have, answer them before they have a chance to reach out. It's a really important one there, is just to have that thought of like, how would someone reading this for the first time, what objections would they have to want to opt in? If you have an objection in your mind, you're like, wait, no one would actually ask that at this point, then you don't need to put it in. Again, the goal of this copy is to guide people to take the action that you want. And if there's an objection you think they might have to take that action, then you answer it with a copy. If you don't think that would stop them from clicking through to the next step, then don't worry about it from there. It's also important that your copy will help build your brand, it will help build trust. So how you get your point across does matter. So what you're saying, is it representative of your brand and your brand values? And especially I think about that when it comes to emoji use. Some clients will litter their emoji on their ads, and it is a good way to make your ad stand out and get attention, but that also impacts your brand. It impacts how people perceive you. So you want to take that into account. Like we had a client that we used the poop emoji in their ads. It was like, hey, have we got the 8 poop emoji house for you? It blew up in a meth lab explosion. It's going to need work. It's priced accordingly. And that was the impression of the ad. It got a lot of attention, but if your brand and the kind of image you want to have out there does not include a poop emoji anywhere, then it doesn't make sense for you. So think about it from that end of, how does what I'm writing, whether it's emoji or not, impact it? And I make this joke all the time with emoji, but it's also completely true. If you're going to use emoji, please know what they mean, because an eggplant is not really an eggplant. Tacos, peaches, different things, some things in combination. Just if you don't know what an emoji specifically might mean, you can always ask, Google it. But if you're going to use them, understand what they are and any like connotations that might come with them. So think about your copy as a way to qualify leads, handle objections, help you with your targeting. One thing we often hear from people on copy is like, hey, we're getting a ton of people reaching out who, the average price at the bottom is 400 grand in our area, and we're getting people looking for 200,000. Well, then in your ad say, a home starting at 400. You can just put right in it what you want. People who then fit will do it. Now you will get some people who come through anyways, because not everyone reads. We all know and have seen that online, that people don't read everything that's there, but that's okay, as long as you can filter out the majority. So start getting leads in. You keep hearing objections, you can go back and you can edit, you can add in to handle those objections, but your copy is really important. Now let's jump in and I'll actually show you my process a bit of how I build ads and write copy itself. And if you have questions, you want to share your copy in the group, I encourage you to do so. It'll really be worth it because it is a really important part of your advertising. The ad. And an important part is what we were talking about before is the headline. That's what's going to come here. Primary text will show up here, and then the description will show up under your headline, but it often won't even show except for like on desktops. You don't have to worry too much about the description side of it. And then your display link will be the little link that shows where they're going here. And most of the time, honestly, just leave that blank. It's not a big deal. So with headline, what we do is we basically just say matter-of-factly what they're getting. So if it's like a guide on how to prepare their home for sale, I'd be like free PDF guide on how to prepare your home for sale. Very straightforward. And you can see where this works is it doesn't get cut off. Sale. And that's where if I switch that to get the most money, now I'm being cut off. And that's not going to work. So maybe what we'll do is like, okay, do we need to have guide on how to? Or if we just said free PDF, prepare your home for sale to get the most money, close. So we get prepare your home for sale. And then we go, okay, prepare your, and we can do a little bit of fun. We got to tighten it up. And we can go like, okay, let's pull up an emoji here. First I got to grab an emoji. 1 second. I'm just pulling up my emoji menu. It's not cooperating with me. It's gonna be a really fun part for you guys to watch. So I might come in here and say, okay, prepare your home for sale. Because now I can say, okay, prepare your home for sale to get more money in your pocket. And let's see how this one goes to get more money. To put more money, to get more, and then we do money. And then we can do that. So that's one option that you would have there. Again, trying to shorten it down, but we keep it now. If you're doing like luxury, we found that free might not help. So we might even just switch it and just say like PDF, prepare your home for sale to get more money. Straightforward to the point. If it's like a home value report, it might be like free report. We wouldn't call it a CMA because most people don't know what that means. Get the value of your home. Again, very straightforward. You can do it if you're in a specific area, like if you're in where I live in Newmarket, be like get the value of your Newmarket home. Again, something that might get it to stand out because now it's their local area. Now, if we're coming up now up to the primary text, again, remember what we're trying to do here is get people who are thinking of selling their home because that's the goal. So instead of saying find out the value of your home, we'd be like, we can do two different approaches. So normally what I either do is I say like thinking of selling your home. Here again, I might put emoji. So I might throw in like the house here. Sometimes it doesn't seem to work. But if you're on a Mac, by the way, if you put Control Command Spacebar, the emoji menu comes up. Sometimes it picks the wrong one for you. Let's say we put the home, we can put the little sale thing. Like a little ticket. So you're thinking of selling your home. Step 1 is finding out what you could get for it on the open market. Knowing what buyers will pay, will pay for your home, will put you in the best position to plan for where you'll move to next. And then, like I was saying, one of the big objections, like I want it to be automated, like this is not an automated report. Those are often inaccurate and misleading. This report our team will make custom for you based on recent sales and other factors that may impact your home's value. There's no obligation to hire us when you get the report. Just click Learn More below and answer a couple questions, and we'll send you your own custom report on what your home would sell for. So you can see it's a bit longer, but that's okay. Now what we do now is I'll come back and be like, okay, is this the right way to do it? Because if I started obsessing about it as I'm writing it, maybe I'm not going to be happy with how it turned out. So I'm now going to come back and start looking at the different pieces here and saying, okay, what do I still need? Thinking of selling your home? Yep, that's good. Anyone who says yes to that, and we hear like, and you also want to consider over here the preview, because they're going to see the see more. What do they see here? So like that's kind of why I did this. Step one is finding out what you could, and now they're like, oh, could what? See more, and now they'll read the rest, and then we could get for it on the open market. I think that's maybe not the right way to say it, but I think for now we're gonna go with that. So finding out what you could get for it on the open market, knowing what buyers will pay for your home will put you in the best position to plan for where you'll move next. That to me is a sentence that can be reworked. So I'd look at it and be, okay, what's the point I'm trying to get across here? Basically, you want to know what the value of your home is to help you buy your next one. Making plans to, before you can buy your next home. And this also has the ability now to implant that piece about like, okay, we know you're buying your next home, which is your ideal client, someone who's looking to buy and sell. Before you buy your next home, you'll need to know what your current, why does it keep moving like that? What your current home is worth, to know what buyers would pay for your current home. Because again, here, there's a difference between the value of your home too, and then what people will pay for it. And it's kind of putting that in there as well. We could take out this is and just put not an automated report, but I think that's okay. Those are often inaccurate and misleading. So this I don't know that we necessarily need. Sometimes we've tested putting it in, but like we could say, okay, you know what? This is not an automated report. That actually gets the point across that I'm trying to say here. It's like, it's just not automated. And then we say, okay, this report, that's just poor sentence structure. But if I say, okay, our team will custom make it for you, well, then do we need to say that it's not automated because we're seeing we're going to custom make it? So I know, okay, now I can take this out. Great. This report, let me say your home value. Your home value. Facebook seems to be glitching today. Your home value report. I like when Facebook glitches while I'm doing something. Your home value report will be custom made by our team. So remember, when you have Facebook issues, it's not just you. Your home value report will be custom made by our team. And again, we can cut out this. based on recent sales and other factors that may impact your home's value. Again, there's no obligation to hire us. When you get the report, just click learn more below and answer a couple questions, and we'll send you your own custom report on what your home would sell for. So again, we're looking here, we're saying, okay, you know what? I think we're okay with most of this here. The only thing I might do is bring this to another line and say, okay, I don't need just, it doesn't change it. Click learn more, and you can see learn more. It's almost like a specific thing, so I'll often capitalize, click learn more. Here too, there's an opportunity to add like, hey, there's no obligation to hire us when you get the report. Sometimes if depending on the client, we might do, but you can, because that just, it adds a little bit of personality. But again, this depends on you, your branding, how you might word that, something like that. Like some clients might be willing to put like a winky face in there, but just have a little bit of fun with it. But again, that's up to you, how your brand, you want it to be perceived as you're going around. And then we'll say, click learn more below. And then here, I'll just take that out. And here, we're just having all these fun little challenges with Facebook today. Click more below. Yeah. Answer a couple questions. And we'll send you your own custom report on what your home would sell for. And we will, and here, like I might do email, and we will email you, and we'll email your own custom report on what your home would sell for. And I'll just add one last thing, today. And now I would say that this ad is ready to be published from like a copy perspective. Right now, because I selected a lead form option, I would need to create the lead form, which we're actually going to get into in the next video. So the next video will go all about kind of what you need to know about creating a lead form. But for your ads, put some copy and put some thought into it. It is important. And then you can feel free to share it into the group, and we can also help critique your ads as well.